How is it going, everyone? And you know that it was coming, that Horizon's live service multiplayer game had to get revealed. I mean, we knew that this project has been in development for quite a while, but here we go. Horizon Hunters Gathering has gotten its announcement trailer, and I think that this is gonna be one of the most divisive games of the year, in the sense that I already see some people being positive towards it. I see some people liking the art style. Guys, I absolutely despise this art style. I just think it butchers what Horizon was and totally takes away the identity of Horizon. It just looks like yet another Fortnite cartoony title that so many of these live service games have been going with. High Guard just came out and I felt like it went in that cartoony art style as well, which definitely doesn't resonate with me. And if I had to make a guess on it, I don't think this is going to be a gigantic standout. Now, I see a lot of comparisons to Dauntless, and Dauntless was a game that had a very similar art style, and that game did fairly well for a while. Unfortunately, it did get shut down. But this is, by the way, a main Guerrilla project. This isn't a title like the mobile game that is coming out, the mobile MMO that is being done by NCSoft. This is done by Guerrilla, and yes, Guerrilla is working on Horizon 3 right now. I've brought it up a few times, but Horizon Forbidden West came out all the way back in 2022. If you don't think resources being invested into Horizon Hunters Gathering halted the progress and development of that game, I don't know what to tell you, because it's gonna be 5 years next year, and we're not getting Horizon 3 next year. At least I don't think so. Are we gonna get it in 2028? Maybe, but it's gonna be 6 years at minimum, I would think, between Horizon Forbidden West and the conclusion of said trilogy, and I believe a large portion of the halting of the development and the lengthy development process of that game was because of the development of Horizon Hunters Gathering. They can say that it's not. Well, then why was the time period between Zero Dawn and Forbidden West 5 years in the midst of a global shutdown, mind you, and now we're having to wait even longer for Horizon Forbidden West into Horizon 3? I want to see this trilogy wrapped up. Horizon Zero Dawn was announced all the way back in like 2015. It is 2026, and the end of that trilogy still hasn't been announced. We need to get on that as soon as possible, but we do have this tactical 3-player co-op action title, Adapt Your Hunter for Intense Missions. Today marks a monumental step for Guerrilla as a studio as we announce our new chapter in the Horizon universe, Horizon Hunters Gathering. With the very first ideas that shaped the world of Horizon, we dreamed players hunting machines together. We started with a small group of guerrillas, including myself back in the days as design director, and began exploring what that could look like. Drawing on our experience from the Killzone multiplayer titles and momentum of Horizon Zero Dawn, we set out to bring cooperative action into the Horizon franchise. Since then, the team have grown tremendously throughout its development. We've done extensive testing, patching, and feedback iteration. One of my favorite moments was first in studio playtest with the entire team, a special milestone where the vision and hard work from every discipline finally came together in playable form. It's always nerve-wracking to share early builds, but moments like that test as well as today's announcement make it worthwhile. Horizon Hunters Gathering is a cooperative action game developed by Guerrilla, PlayStation 5 and PC day one. That's how these multiplayer live service games are gonna work. I would imagine that it's gonna be $39.99, much like Marathon, much like Helldivers 2, much like what Concord was supposed to be. That lets up to 3 players team up as heroic hunters to protect a world threat from deadly machines. Combat is tactical, reactive, and deeply skill-based, building on the tactical precision of the Horizon games while embracing the dynamics of team play. The foundation of Horizon Hunters Gathering centers around challenging and replayable hunts. Today, we're revealing 2 game modes: Machine Incursion, a highly intense mission where waves of machines pour out from the underground gateways led by a formidable boss, and a Cauldron Descent, a longer multi-stage trial in which ever-changing rooms push hunters to their limits, from a brutal machine encounters to hidden doors that promise power and reward for teams prepared to open them. Both modes will be available in our closed playtest through the PlayStation Beta program on PlayStation 5 and PC, so that's going to be the first chance a large portion of people get to play the game. You choose from a roster of uniquely skilled hunters. Oh, that sounds familiar. Each with distinct melee or range playstyles, and select hunters' roles further embedded. With a roguelike perk system, these hunters have their their own motivations and personal struggles. Again, I am invested into the core narrative of Horizon, and even that, after Forbidden West, I am less so invested in that after that was kind of a train wreck. Look, I like Horizon a lot, but I'm also realistic to understand there's not this overwhelming investment into the core Horizon story. At least I don't think so. As far as narratives are concerned in the PlayStation IPs, yeah, Horizon is a big IP. Are people super invested into Horizon where they can piggyback off of it and do a live service game that gets popular? I might be wrong, but I don't think so. God of War's live service game didn't even hit the finish line, and God of War, I would say, is orders of magnitude bigger, although I would argue Horizon, for the style that it is a game that I could theorize translating into live service easier than God of War, but this just is not what I want to see out of the franchise. I love the single-player open-world RPGs, and I get it. We're all about that monetization. We're all about live service. We're all about making games that there isn't a ceiling for how much revenue that they can make. However, the alternative is also true, that they could come out like Concord, but as I've said, Concord is a game that was a disaster. It's not going to be replicated by many games, and the reception on this, there is definitely a mixed reception. I see some people excited for it, and I look at some of the gameplay, and I don't think it's inherently something that looks that terrible. I just think right now, PlayStation and live service in general, especially, again, PlayStation live service titles, you're fighting a crazy uphill battle, and there's gonna be the people out there being like, oh, you want to hate a game before it even comes out. Same people were saying that about Highguard. How's Highguard's 5,000 concurrent players doing for you guys? People are allowed to make opinions and judgment calls based on the footage that is revealed to them. I don't know why this is that hard. Oh, you can't judge the game. You're only looking at the 9-minute footage. It's just like, dude, that's the footage that they put out. That's the art style they chose. They're gonna get judged on it. Whoa, dude, promotional material is there to give reactions and incite opinions from people. I couldn't have predicted that, and if the promotional material doesn't captivate people, and guess what? For some people, it is captivating to them. For me, I think this looks terrible from an art direction standpoint, and it's something that I feel like we've just been seeing so much, this cartoony, like TikTok-friendly art style, where I think people on TikTok, it's gonna do big shorts numbers or something like that, or at least I think that's what goes through their head when they establish games like this. Oh, it's gonna be big on social media, and I said back before Helldivers 2 came out that I think that game was gonna be big on social media because of the insanity. It wasn't because of that game's art direction or anything like that. I just think Helldivers 2 has that level of chaos that would resonate in short-form content. Horizon, this game, I feel like butchers the art direction of what Horizon is. It kind of kills the identity of Horizon from an art direction standpoint, and I do think that's incredibly important. I think having compelling characters that you like how they are visually represented is important for a game like this, where the heroes are going to be a big part of them as well. And some of the gameplay, I do think looks okay. I don't think it looks terrible, but I just don't know the long-term viability of a game like this, and Horizon, to me, as a game, is kind of a game that people appreciate starting it and then ending it. That's what Horizon is known for. It's a single-player, narrative-driven RPG. Again, I just don't know how it's going to translate into a live service project, and based on what I'm seeing right now, again, you have such a short window on making an impression with live service games, but I'm not even going to pretend that this is like Highguard. This is not. There are people that are invested into this game and thinks it looks really good. I am not one of them, but I would be foolish to say that that opinion isn't out there. However, it is incredibly divisive, and I don't know if a live service game, you want it to inherently be so divisive, because it's all about getting as many people as playing it as possible. Because if you're already looking at it, like, let's just throw a number out there, 50-50 people are on the art style. Well, the art style is such a turnoff where 50% of the people aren't even going to give it a shot, then 50% of the people are like, all right, I like the art style, I'll play it, and then they give it a shot. Well, even a smaller percentage are ultimately going to get invested into the game. I just think it would be more beneficial if you're going to do a Horizon live service game, go with something that's in line with Horizon, make it a little bit more neutral, and I think you can do that. I think you can make it where 80 to 90% of people would be like, yeah, the game looks fine from an art direction standpoint. This game, I just think, is so inherently divisive, which that's a problem with live service games already, when you are splitting the user base as far as people that are even willing to check it out. But Who knows? Look, I said High Guard was gonna bomb. I said Concord was gonna bomb. And I'm not here to be like, oh, I'm Nostradamus. I feel like these are fairly easy takes to make. Concord, I think everybody saw coming. Fair Game, I think, is gonna bomb. Horizon Hunter Gatherers, I have more optimism, so to speak, in the sense that maybe this won't be an absolute disaster like High Guard dropping a 5,000 concurrent, but I don't see it being this gigantic game either. Again, I've been wrong in the past, we shall see, but I'm not very captivated by what I am seeing right now. But they do have a lengthy blog post, and I will give them credit for dropping a 9-minute gameplay overview video right off the bat instead of 30-second burger trailers like Concord. Look, we're already making progress there. We're already taking W's there. With PlayStation these days, I'm taking W's where I can get them. We're beating out the Concord burger trailer. We're beating up that dog crap Fair Game trailer, so I'll take the small W's where I can. At least they're showing the game, because that's the point of game promotion. It's at least to incite some sort of reaction, even if it's not the greatest one by me personally. I do see there are some people that are looking at this game at a more positive lens. So hey, I consider that to be a W relative to some of the dog crap that Sony has put out in the past when it comes to these live service titles. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. And for those of you that think I'm just down on live service games as a whole, who's been defending Marathon more than me on the internet recently? I feel like I've been defending Marathon more than a lot of people, and I think that game actually looks fairly decent. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.